for for a lot of times that we're here at the combine, there's always a guessing game with the number one pick, and no GM seems to want to say, "I'm picking this guy. I'm picking this guy. I'm going to wait till I get to the podium." What's it been like? Has it been refreshing for you, or what's it been like to be going into this draft since the lottery, pretty much knowing that you're going to San Jose, barring whatever?
Yeah, I mean, there's been a lot of talk around that subject and that possibility for sure. But I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, you never know what's going to happen, and I don't think I'm getting too ahead of myself. I don't think anyone else is going to get too ahead of themselves too. So for right now, I'm just going to enjoy the last couple of days of the combine and enjoy this experience because I've really enjoyed my time here.
Hi, Macklin. Guillaume Lefrançois from La Presse. I was wondering, there's not too many 17-year-olds who play in NCAA. So was this purely a hockey decision from you, or were there other factors? And what has it required you to do from a school point of view in order to get there at 17?
Yeah, I mean, that's a question I actually don't get too often. No, for me it was primarily hockey based. I felt like the level of play and the whole like maturity of the game was gonna really help me improve what I need to work on and help my game. So I guess all the other school stuff was a bonus, being able to kind of take college level courses.
But just specifically, what have you had to do in order to be admitted in college at 17?
Yeah, I mean, last while I played for the Chicago Steel, I had to take a bunch of classes for grade 11 and 12 and complete the required credits. But other than that, it wasn't too much work.
Hey, Macklin. Have you been able to connect with Connor Bedard at all about how to handle all the draft process and the attention that comes with it?
Yeah, I talked to him a little bit. He's a friend that we kind of grew up a little bit together, so at the start of this year, he kind of reached out and said if there's anything I need or anything I need help with, let him know. So, I mean, he's there if I have any questions, but I haven't had to use him very much.
Hey, Macklin, what were you able to take away from your first year in college playing hockey? And is it kind of neat going through this experience with two other college freshmen who could be drafted high as well?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I loved my year in college. It was amazing. I had a lot of fun, and I mean, those other two players are pretty special players as well. So it was fun to watch them all year and watch them have the success that they had as well.
Macklin, excluding the San Jose interview, what did the teams that you talked to really want to get to know about you this week?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like it was just an understanding of kind of who I am as a kid, my family, my background, just to kind of, I mean, all my interviews, it's more get to know you, see what you're like as a kid, your interests, just to really understand the kind of person I am.
Macklin, Chris Peters from Flow Sports. Just two questions. First one is, Jay Pandolfo talked about all the runs that a lot of teams were taking runs at you earlier in the year, and I think I saw it in the USHL the year before as well. How do you manage that, and how did you kind of deal with that as the season wore on? It seemed like it didn't maybe happen as much later on, but definitely early on you had to deal with some adversity that way.
Yeah, I mean, hockey's a pretty physical game, so I mean, there's going to be hits and plays where, I mean, against anyone, you're not going to be too happy with them. So, I mean, I never really looked at it like that. I just was playing my game, and yeah, I mean, I didn't really focus on it too much, but yeah, I mean, anything can happen at any moment to any player on the ice. So I never took too much weight into those hits.
And I also wanted to ask you quickly about Artem Levshinov as well, because you guys played against each other, same division in the USHL. What are the things that you noticed from him going head to head, and what made him a tough player to play against?
Yeah, whenever we played against them in Green Bay, I just always remember guys talking about him and stuff, and then and then when we got on the ice, he'd always kind of take over the game. So he's a pretty special player, smooth skater, wizard with the puck. So it was a lot of fun to play against him, and now see the things he's done at the college level.
Hey, Macklin, Ryan Dixon, Sportsnet. I'll ask you about another defenseman here, Zeke Bouillon. What are your, I mean, you obviously know him pretty well. What would you say about him as a player in person?
Yeah, I mean, he's a great kid, great player. Saw him at the end of the year, saw him at World Juniors. I mean, we went to Shattuck together, kind of grew up a little bit. So to see how he's been able to progress over the last couple of years and to see the player he is today, I was blown away when I saw him at the Frozen Four. I felt like he was the best player on the ice. So it's been really cool to see that. But don't let him know I said that.
How valuable has your brother been through this whole experience? Not just, going to college together, but also him having previously been drafted.
Yeah, he's been amazing for me. He was one of my, he's my best friend. I live every day with him, fight with him, joke with him. So, throughout this year, but also through my childhood, he's always kind of been there for me for whatever I need. And obviously his experience with this kind of stuff also helps.
And then I know you've said multiple times you haven't made the decision yet about going back to college, but what more do you think you have to gain from college hockey?
I feel like it would just give me a little bit more time to develop. There's never really shame or there's nothing wrong with just taking your time and just improving a little bit more, getting stronger, getting bigger, getting faster. So I feel like in those ways, another year would benefit me just to get more physically ready and just make sure I'm very fit and strong when I try to make that jump.
Macklin, Mike Harrington, Buffalo News here. Obviously, the San Jose interview is certainly going to feel a little different, perhaps. How did you approach that one? And just secondly, what were your impressions of Mike Greer, somebody we know very well here? You had quite a run with the Sabres.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I approached every interview the same. A little nervous, want to kind of see how it went and meet those guys, but it was a great interview. It's great to see or put names to faces and kind of get to know them while they got to know me as well.
And what was your impressions of Mike? Certainly the BU connection and everything.
Yeah. Well, he's awesome. We went out to dinner a night, and he has a great personality, and we had a lot of jokes, so it was cool.
Macklin, is there anything hockey specific that you learned under Jay Pandolfo that maybe you didn't know entering college?
Yeah, our whole coaching staff, from Kim Brandvold to Jay Pandolfo to Joe Pereira, we always went through video. We always there was always stuff that in my game that I needed to improve on. So they never hesitated to come up to me, bring me new ideas, whether it was power play, PK, or just 5-on-5 structure stuff. So they were all massive in my development over this last year, and especially Jay. We went through video a lot, and such a great hockey mind, a lot of experience at the National Hockey League level. So he was definitely a lot of help for me.
Two questions for you, Macklin. First, maybe it's this one that you might have received from one team or another, but what's the best advice you were ever given?
Probably stay present. I've been told that time flies by, and before you know it, I'd be here, and then before you know it, it's 5 years later, and wherever you are. But that's something that I've definitely had to learn. Just stay present, try to enjoy it, because I've realized that time really does fly.
It does. And apart from that, could you describe your experience of playing with Lane Hudson? The understanding on the ice, especially that part of it.
Yeah, he's a great player. I was fortunate enough to play with him this year, to play with him and play off him. He's a special player. I haven't really seen someone who can who can make the plays he does and skate, pass, shoot the way he does. Like, he's a special player, and yeah, I mean, I was just lucky to play with him.
Hi, Macklin. Joe Yurden, Bleacher Report. You spoke about college. I wanted to know if you talked with Will Smith because he stayed another year in college after being drafted last year. I don't know if maybe you had any conversations with him about that.
No, I haven't really talked to him about that kind of stuff. No.
Were you guys? I know you had to compete against each other quite a bit last year. What was that like dealing with him? And now you're going to be teammates.
It wasn't very fun. He's playing against him. He's a special player. I played against him for the last 3 or 4 years, so I've seen a lot of him, and he's a great player, super shifty, super smooth. So every time we went up against him, he lit us up. So yeah, no, he's a great player.
Macklin, we talked and watched how good you were this season. I'm curious, where do you think you can still get better, and what's going to be, if there's a specific area or a couple of areas you're going to focus on this offseason before next season starts?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's kind of cliche, but I feel like I need to work on everything. I'm not very satisfied with where my game's at. I feel like there are a lot of holes in my game this year, so I'm going to be working this year, and I was even talking to my coaching staff from last year on some things they think I need to improve. So, yeah, there's for sure stuff that I need to work on, and I'm going to be working on this summer.
Thank you, Macklin.
Awesome.
Thank you all for coming.
Thank you.